Have you ever had that feeling, that you're kind of stuck? Like you're just living the same year over and over again? Well, today, we're going to dig into a really powerful idea that might just be the escape button you've been searching for. We're calling it the Great Life Reset. So let me ask you, are you trying to build a new life? Maybe you're chasing after new goals, trying to lock in new habits, or aiming for a totally new direction. But what if the very ground you're building on is actually the thing that's holding you back?
This quote just gets right to the point, doesn't it? Think about it. It doesn't matter how many times you shake up the puzzle box. If you keep using the same old pieces, your old habits, your old stuff, all that mental baggage, you're always going to end up with the exact same picture. If you want to create something truly new, well, you're going to need new pieces.
Okay, so let's dive into the first big idea here. It's called the full glass problem. And it's super simple, but honestly, it's profound. You just can't pour any new water, any new inspiration, into a glass that's already filled to the brim.
And this is where things get really interesting. See, most self-help advice tells us to add more stuff, right? Find your purpose, define your 5-year goal. But the reset principle, it flips that completely on its head. It says you have to subtract first. Before you can add anything new and meaningful, you've got to empty that glass. Get rid of the junk. Clear out all that old energy that's just taking up space.
So what happens when your glass is always full? Well, you get trapped in what our source material calls a déjà vu life. And you know this feeling. It's that endless loop where you're just reliving your past. The people or the places might change a little, but the core patterns, the problems, the feelings, they stay exactly the same.
And that brings us to the next big question. Why? Why does all this old stuff, both the physical things and the mental clutter, keep your life stuck on repeat?
So according to the source, holding on to all that baggage has 2 major consequences. First, you get that endless repetition we just talked about. But second, it dramatically, and I mean dramatically, slows down what we can call your life speed. You ever see those people who just seem to accomplish so much so fast, and you wonder, how do they do it? The secret might just be that they're carrying a much, much lighter load. I absolutely love this metaphor. Imagine you've got this super fast car, that's you, with all your discipline and your goals. But you're not going anywhere because you're towing a giant trailer packed with years and years of junk. You can slam on the gas all you want, but that weight, it is always, always going to slow you down. So what's the answer? It's not about pushing the accelerator even harder. It's about unhitching the trailer. And that is what we're calling the Great Life Reset. Think of it as a total general cleaning of your entire life. Okay, so where do you even start with a massive cleanup like this? It's not about digging through the past or dreaming about the future. The whole thing starts right here, right now, in the present moment. It's the one place you can actually touch and change. And clearing the clutter from your immediate reality, that's what's going to give you the energy for everything else. All right, let's get practical. This isn't just a theory. There's a real concrete action plan here that you can literally start this weekend. And the real power is psychological. When you take physical action, cleaning, deleting, organizing, you send this incredibly powerful signal to your brain that you are dead serious about making a change. So let's break it down. Here it is, the 5-step framework. It is a total cleanup, and it covers everything: your physical space, your digital world, what you're feeding your brain, and mental to-do list that's always running in the background. We're going to go through each one. Step 1 is all about the physical stuff, the clutter. But this is way deeper than just asking, does this spark joy? The source suggests a much more powerful question. As you pick up each item, ask yourself this: do I want this energy in my new life? See, every object you own carries some kind of energy. The key is to consciously decide what you're taking with you on the journey and what you're leaving behind to make room for the new. Next up, your digital world. All those old files, movies you didn't even like, photos that just bring up bad memories. I mean, why are you keeping them? Your hard drive isn't infinite, and you know what? Neither is your energy. So cleaning out your computer, your phone, even your social media accounts, it is just as important as cleaning your house. So after you've gotten rid of all the junk, step 3 is to organize what's left. Now, this isn't about being obsessively neat. It's about creating a harmonized, systematic order where everything has its own place. It's about flow. You just cannot shift your life into a higher gear if you're trying to operate out of chaos. Step 4 tackles something called information intoxication. We are constantly consuming information, and let's be honest, a lot of it is just mental junk food. So it's time for a detox. Unfollow accounts that don't resonate. Get rid of negativity in your feeds. And here's the simple test for what gets to stay. Does this information give you a feeling of clarity and a real thirst for action? If the answer is no, it's just noise.
And finally, step 5. This one is huge. It's about all those hanging tasks, all the unfinished projects. Our brains are literally wired to obsess over these open loops. They're constantly poking at us in the back of our minds, draining our mental energy. So the rule is simple. Close every single one. For each task, you have two choices. Either do it, finish it right now, or consciously decide to cancel it and let it go for good. No more maybes. I promise you, this step alone will free up a colossal amount of your attention.
So you've done the work. You've cleaned out the physical, the digital, and the mental clutter. What now? What's the big payoff for all this effort? This quote just nails it. Getting rid of stuff isn't just about cleaning. It is a physical declaration of how ready you are for change. The more you're willing to let go of, the louder you're screaming to the universe that you are truly ready for something new to come into your life. And the number one reward for all of this work? A tangible, powerful, and absolutely colossal influx of new energy. By finally emptying that full glass, you've created the space for something new and exciting to be poured in. This is the fuel. This is what you need to break the cycle and finally start building the life you actually want. Okay, we've talked about the problem, the solution, and the incredible payoff. There's only one thing left to do, and that's to take that very first step. And that brings us to the final, and really the most important question of all. I want you to look around right now. At your desk, at your closet, at your phone's home screen, at that nagging to-do list. What is the very first thing you will get rid of to make space for your new life?